This is one of my favorite ways to eat salmon. Now we all know that we've been told we need good omegas in our diet every day. And so I really try hard to have salmon at least once a week. If we can do it twice a week, that's awesome. Now it can be a little bit pricey, so it's a sacrifice that we make every week to try to get in a good, healthy protein, good omegas. We try to buy wild caught salmon. Farm-raised salmon a lot of times can be very sickly. They can be injected with coloring to make them look nice and pretty and pink. So I like to get them from the ocean. Alright, this rub just has a few ingredients and I'm going to go through it with you. Then I'm going to slather it all over the salmon. Then I'm going to walk you through the steps to show you how to cook the salmon. But you know what? I need to preheat my oven. Alright, first of all, we start with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now, we don't use brown sugar in our house. We use something called sucanat. It's sugar cane natural. You can find it in the health food section of most stores. So it still has calories. It's still sugar. It's just much less refined. And it contains some of the nutrients. Can you believe there's actually nutrients in some sugars? Alright, 2 tablespoons of paprika. We buy our spices in bulk and then put them in these jars. I buy a lot of my spices from Amazon. I can get them in 1-pound bags. I can get them organic and they are like the same price as if I bought a little 4-ounce bottle at the store. Okay, this is the cumin. I'm not going to get that yet. 2 teaspoons of sea salt. Look at this beautiful sea salt. 1, 2. Alright, 1.5 teaspoons of pepper. Now, I don't have time to do 1.5 teaspoons, but you get the idea. Here we go. 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. We love making our own rubs, our own mixes here at the house, because we can control what's going into it. Alright, this is where the cumin comes in, and it's just a pinch. And then just a pinch of the cayenne. So I'm barely going to grab cayenne. I have to be careful, even though my family really loves spices, I still have to be careful with my little ones. I don't want to set their mouth on fire and they can't eat it. So, obviously if you picked a bigger bowl, you could mix this up a little bit better. Watch this. Alright. Now I'm going to just start being very liberal with this. Always make sure that if you're using your hands for raw meat, to use the hand that you're not gonna be cross-contaminating anything. Alright. I've put a little olive oil in my pan. And sometimes I like to cook in my iron skillet. I love my iron skillet. And so I've got a little bit of olive oil in here, and I'm going to heat that up. As soon as the oil comes to the temperature that I like, I'm going to toss in my salmon and cook it a couple of minutes on each side. And then when that's done, I'm going to take it out of, actually you could just pick it up and put your skillet inside your oven at 400 degrees. Or you could transfer, if you didn't have a pan that you could put in the oven, you could transfer it to my favorite stainless steel pan. You could transfer it to that and finish cooking at that temperature for about 5 to 6 minutes, and it's ready to go. You don't want to overcook salmon, it'll be dry. So if you'll stick to that time frame, you'll have a nice, flavorful, juicy salmon for supper, or dinner, or breakfast.